The Nigerian entertainment industry has been through a lot of tough times. The issues that the industry was facing in 2012 when we conceived the idea for the conference were very frustrating. It was in 2012 that I started discussing the idea of a regular gathering to brainstorm and workshop and showcase the problems that frustrated us, that we're trying to solve, were the problems of piracy, the problems of collective rights management, the problem of education, the problem of infrastructure, compensation, all of those issues that you find where there is a lack of structure. Those were the problems. That was 10 years ago.
When we started the conference, 2013, it was about charting a new course of conversation. It was about bringing to the fore fundamental issues that were plaguing the creative space at the time and how we can actually do better.
Before you can do anything that has to do with motion picture, that would involve music videos, films, of course, you'd have to be registered as a motion picture practitioner. Now that is ridiculous.
I've been asked several times to screenshot my insights. They want to know what percentage of men, what percentage of women are following me, the age range. They want to see insight.
You now almost have to have a relationship with OAPs or DJs, and in other parts of the world, I don't believe Rihanna really knows who the DJ is on the Breakfast Club, nor does she have to wish them happy birthday on their birthday, otherwise she'll be scared that they won't play her music.
We first established that there was a problem in the industry. We then moved on from establishing the problem to then looking for solutions to these problems and how we can create an enabling environment where it can begin to yield the desired result. And that is what we are beginning to witness and experience the impact as at now.
But if you ask me, I always go back to piracy. Guys, that's the first thing and that's the last thing. If you don't kill piracy, we can't grow the industry.
So I've got to look at where I'm competing. Am I competing with the pirate or am I competing with other TV channels? And at this point in time, I want to think that I'm competing with other TV channels. So what we've done is we're one step ahead of even having Desperate Housewives out there in the first place.
If you want to succeed in the industry, dive into it for only one reason, for the love of it.
I believe to have longevity in this profession, you should constantly train. You should always be ready.
NECLive was the one place that everyone would converge. Stakeholders in the creative industry, everybody was there. Everybody was in one place.
NECLive, to its credit, has shied away from any sort of government involvement. It's a forum for the creative industry, and they've kept at it like that for the past 9-10 years. NECLive has always been at the forefront of putting, the creative industry first. It's one of those opportunities, rare opportunities that artists and creatives get to actually express themselves.
It helped to demystify also a lot of companies and answer a lot of questions that people had about various things and processes.
It's strictly been driven by industry professionals, by the creative sector, really focused on them. And then at the end of the day, we issue our solutions. It's all out there on the website.
With no substantial support from government, and this is a very important point to make, but there's always a time for pardon. The industry has risen to become a major contributor to the Nigerian economy, as we have seen.
Somewhere along the line, it was almost as if we sold our birthright to the wrong people, and there was a nosedive. And of course, during that nosedive, it was as if the industry was dying, and there's no recovery.
What is it about Big Brother Nigeria that's made it resonate so much with people, even non-Nigerians?
They see themselves reflected on TV, and then they kind of engage with it.
I
came into NetNG in 2017. I hadn't really been exposed to the industry in that way. I never heard of NECLive. NECLive was, at the time, the only entertainment conference in Nigeria. I was just like, what is this? I'd love to be a part of this. But then by the time we were doing the one for 2018, I'd gone back to school. So what I did was, I told everybody in my department that cared to listen. I was in mass comm, so it made sense that we'd be there. And then I had a bunch of my classmates pay for Ubers, all of us got into the cars, all of us got really dressed up. I don't know what we thought it was, but we got really dressed up, and then we showed up.
Oluchun Sofo, who's also working on this project, she shared her experience about how when she was a student, she used to come from NECLive. I think she missed only the last session, but the excitement of attending NECLive, wanting to dress up in a particular way because she was astounded. The number of people that were involved in a conference that they were not paying for, but people were putting in their resources to see a large gathering of creators, and they're answering the questions that are in your head. So many things that you don't even know how to voice about the entertainment industry. Because one way or the other, the Nigerian entertainment industry doesn't have that infrastructure yet. It's a passion project of people who have devoted their lives, their energy, their blood and sweat. So I would say listen to someone speak about it from the other side of NECLive. It was beautiful. You could see all of the passion in her eyes, the excitement. And to have been able to impart that on a young woman as when she was a student and as she's growing, now she's working on NECLive. That's a journey. It was a fantastic opportunity for my friends in that they finally got to meet people they had only heard of, right? So that, I feel like that is even my first participant experience. And as a student, it was a big deal to me.
What distinguishes NECLive from other similar conferences, I'd say, having been on a panel before, at least once at NECLive, I would say that it's the quality of the conversations, it's the quality of the panelists, invited panelists, guests, and all that, and the kind of insights, because you're talking to actual people on the ground, boots on the ground, people who are, deeply immersed and entrenched in the trenches of the industry. That always separates. So ability to pull the quality caliber of people.
There's not many opportunities for people to come and sort of see, meet, talk to, hear from people who are actually actively operating in the industry. So this is it's not a concert. You don't come, pay someone to play and then go and have fun, right? This is where you hear the people who are in the industry actually speak about their pain points, about the good things, about the bad things. And I don't know that there are really any other avenues for people who have no links or networks already existing to be in a space with people who are doing what they want to do in the future. And I think that's a good thing.
They break rules. They are not dynamic in any way, nor do they intend to be. And so, as young people and people of great integrity that I want to call us to be entertainers, I wonder why we so desperately love to align ourselves with them.
Integrity and trust is what will actually solidify the ability to deal. Because what they have managed to do is to create something out of nothing.
As soon as the organization is functioning, it is time to start campaigning for several collective societies. In any world where you have capitalism, in any world where you have democracy, it can never work right. It will only lead to corruption if only one single body will continue collecting.
Each time I was asked to moderate one of the panels at the Nigerian Entertainment Conference in the years past, I felt like it was important to do so, not only because the entertainment industry is one that I am sort of involved in a way, but because I thought it's really important to have discussions that mean something, to have discussions that educate, inspire, and interest people, and that move the industry forward as well.
In a number of ways, NECLive has offered industry stakeholders an opportunity to iron out issues, meaning a platform or a forum to discuss the challenges or the problems or the disagreements facing the industry. And during these discussions, a lot of things have been resolved.
One of the coolest things and one of the mind-blowing things was when Banky W came and told his story. In fact, when I lecture, I usually reference that's his story, that's his lecture. He showed how he came from selling his mixtapes in America in the back of a car to coming to Nigeria and all this. And the way he did a progression for his career or his talents, he monetized his talent and was able to make that talent an industry.
The Nigerian music industry, which I'm a part of, produces well over 550 albums of different kinds of music annually, with the sales of Nigerian music having more than tripled in the last 5 years.
And that cool event was Davido's presentation. Wasn't a presentation, it was a music production. He actually produced the music, got his producer to come. Wasiu came. At that time, you know how we view Fuji artists. Wasiu came and spoke. His presentation was all in English, flawless English. Then we start seeing him in different lights.
What we are doing now is long overdue. It is something the West always do to jumpstart, kickstart, and put the toes of every participant just high up there for them to have a good end result.
After every major NECLive, participants have a better understanding of what is and a clearer idea of what is to come and how to engage.
Anybody that has been at NECLive for all of the years and has seen all of the panels that we've seen, they'll tell you 2017 was one of the greatest years. Like, the lineup alone, we had Patrick Doyle, we had Adesuwa Itomi, we had, I think that was the year we had Kwamon, I think that was the year we had Tony Abraham. That was, like, it was like back to back to back to back, you know, all stars. And then, this has stayed with me. There was a conversation about like joining associations and what the associations do for you and that. And then Tony Abraham, Patrick Doyle, and Adesuwa started going. Adesuwa is obviously on the receiving end from Tony Abraham and, you know, Patrick Doyle.
The only way we can get better, I think, is if we find the places that we're weak and try to make them stronger. Now, I came into this system that I'm very grateful for. But when I was over there too, I trained for over 5 years. I did not drop into Nollywood.
Board, do you belong to any organization?
No, yes. I don't.
So you are part of the problem.
Why? They were coming from different points of views, right? But the point was the same. We love Nollywood. We want Nollywood to work. This is the platform to discuss how Nollywood works. So we would fight if we have to fight, but Nollywood must work. And it was brilliant to watch. I am such a fan of Nollywood. And watching them have that argument, or would I say discussion, right, was inspiring.
There was a time the major conversation was around monitoring and being able to keep up with play. That was around the time LD launched Play Data. He announced Play Data at NECLive. We've also had brands who've been able to present their products and services and some of the solutions that have helped practitioners to move forward. We've had someone like The Bunch speak about his ventures and his entrepreneurial journey and some of the products and platforms that he has personally launched in partnership with other corporate organizations.
So since the day I've been in the industry, the same quality, the same packaging for original, and where it's sold, it's the same package and same for the fake. So I said, where can we partner? And that's where we got talking. And finally, I'm happy that that's why we're here. Very soon, in a couple of weeks, we'll be launching the first physical authenticated network across Nigeria.
And some of these platforms have also produced success stories. We've had people like Kafi, who's used NECLive to promote dance, and the fact that there's a business opportunity for dance artists in Nigeria. Even inspiration for people who are trying to come up in the industry, to see how Two-Face was able to do it, or Tubaba was able to succeed, to hear from Omotola and her journey, to hear from Funke Akindele, to hear from Adesuwa Itomi.
There's a very thin line between being funny and being offensive. Like I told Obasanjo one time, I said I did a joke and a governor took offense. And when Obasanjo saw him, Obasanjo called him the name that I called him. So the guy was like, he said, you know, so it is that...
You get away with that.
No, the thing is that you can get away with it depending on how you place it.
First of all, the Nigerian entertainment industry has grown tremendously. Technology has changed. with that comes new problems, new issues that we never knew we had to tackle. So now we're dealing with digital issues, we're dealing with split sheets, we're dealing with so many things. So I feel that these conversations, as we meet and converge each year, we definitely tackle new things. We see growth, we see what people are doing around the world, we see what our artists, what deals they're signing, and in some cases we learn from these issues as well.
We are going right now, and we're going to keep growing by the grace of God, But if we keep growing at the rate we are growing, and we don't sit down to have the important conversations about what this growth means for us, how we can bring back that wealth that we are creating in international countries and make it worthy in our country, how we can impart another set of people to continue the work where this generation now will eventually have to stop, then we've messed up all of this growth that we have had. It would be ridiculous for the African entertainment industry to go back to being almost unknown after this, period that we have had. So what I think that NECLive would do in this space now is NECLive will force the people that matter to have conversations.
Africa has been programmed, and that programming has made our mindset to think that our own things are inferior. We don't celebrate our things until it is being validated by foreign people. And I think that's a huge problem. It's continuously pit ourselves against each other.
I would say that we need to be more cohesive. I think that if we had stronger union type of structure where everyone who's affiliated or belongs to a certain part of the chain, of the value chain, there are benefits and also, even more importantly, expectations, uniform expectations, so that the standard of being an operator or a practitioner and a service provider, as it were, just looking at it from like a business perspective, if we're able to have that kind of structure, it would help a great lot to both sides of the divide. So when it comes to the welfare or healthcare and things like that for practitioners, and then on the other side, it would be able to give the industry's output a better look. When you're servicing clients, be it consumers or corporates and all of that, there's a certain level that we must not drop below. So almost like having a standards organization, as far as the entertainment music is, or the entertainment industry is concerned.
And then, our whole movement, we need to really, really get into ourselves and be proud of what we have and promote what we have and let's buy us. You understand what I'm saying?
First of all, putting an event together in the chaotic, beautiful city of Lagos, Nigeria is a task on its own. Getting the venue, getting people there, getting the right people there, getting people interested, trying to even get them to care in the first place is very difficult. But to do it back to back consistently, even after the pandemic, is definitely a feat that needs to be applauded.
I think it's important what NEC does. I think it's important that people come together and not only talk, but actually discuss action points going forward. I think NEC is doing a good job in terms of bringing people together so that they can see that there needs to be a plan, so that the industry can actually move forward and benefit those who are working in it. Because in the past years, it really hasn't.
NECLive is the most enduring garden of its kind anywhere in Nigeria. If we continue to build on what we have now, we're going to build a formidable industry that benefits everybody.
When you're joined at the hip with people of similar interests, like minds, people who care, are conscientious with the work that they do, and genuinely want to see how things can develop, and get better and bigger and more streamlined. The impact is immeasurable because it's so diverse. Whether it's education, whether it's insight, whether it's inspiration, whether it's motivation, It provides, NECLive now is what I'm talking about. It provides that platform to be able to disseminate all sorts of metrics. That's really what it is. You're essentially curating, metrics, whether it's thoughts, opinions, history, where we are today. All of that comes together and it helps you project for a better future, because if you don't really take account and take stock of where you are, as a business, if you take it as from a business perspective. So I'm always thinking, from that perspective, because I think it's also important to start to appreciate the business of entertainment, because it has so many moving parts. But if you have conferences and seminars and panels and conversations that continuously highlight and bring together stakeholders regularly or as often as possible, then the results are exactly what you need to have. You're able to keep the conversation going. You're in touch with trends, you're in touch with habits. You can take stock and say, okay, maybe that's obviously looking back in retrospect, that didn't work, for that particular project or that particular part of the industry. How can we make it better?
Anything that you actually take your time and create, be it a book, be it a poem, be it a photograph that you took, music that you make and release, be it a joke that you tell, original joke that you tell is content.
I think it should be monetized because people create this content.
With a youth population of over 126 million and approximately 70% of the population, Nigeria has a lot to benefit from a fully scaled entertainment and creative sector.
It's cliche. It sounds like a song, but we are the future. The world is ready for us. The question is, are we ready? And that's what the role that NECLive has to play, is getting us ready.
Owning our story before the global audience is very key.
There are plans to not only take the NECLive project notches higher, we're also going global. And it's only because we are beginning to see the significant contribution that the work we do collectively as industry stakeholders is beginning to make.
The next 10 years, we're going to spend everything that we have to make sure that this platform goes mainstream, that this platform provides access to those in the diaspora who want to understand this industry better, and to provide that connection between both, to make sure that we anticipate the issues, that we know the issues, and that we can navigate the issues. But equally importantly, that we can facilitate the introduction and the growth of platforms and products and all the ideas that can make sure that we derive enormous value from the success that we see that is coming.
NECLive is going global, and it's inspiring to see what that could be. There are plans to have the conference replicated across Africa and the rest of the world. So whether it's in the UK, whether it's in the US. But to have a forum started in Nigeria and is going to be able to extend that, that platform that we have, to have real conversations, whether it's about the African industry going forward, the impact can be very long lasting if we are very focused on creating those solutions and actually following through.
And then there will be a knowledge platform from a report point of view. We want to provide the world with all the data it needs to understand the industry on an ongoing basis. So I want Nigeria and Kenya and Ghana to become greater than they currently are because of the creative industry. There's also something called NECLive Go that is going to come, that we are providing opportunities for those who have ideas that can transform the industry to get mentorship and coaching and fellowship and investment and grants.
I am more excited for the upcoming youngsters, the future generation, because they are the ones who are even in a much better position, not only to take on the mantle, but actually enjoy the benefits of the seeds of NECLive sown 10 years ago. If you are ready to learn, NECLive is for you, because then it also connects you directly with the people who have this significant level of knowledge, because not one person is an island. It takes a village to make a significant impact.
The idea is to internationalize what has become the most enduring knowledge sharing and marketplace of ideas and products on the continent of entertainment. It's going to be more African than it is now. It's going to accommodate more African countries. It's going to remain with a major flagship event in Nigeria. It's going to be this massive show that you can't miss.